Hello there, this is Sue at Miller's Laboratory. Thanks so much for joining me today. I'm really happy that you're here. I have a new book that I'm going to be listing in my Etsy shop, and I wanted to flip through it for you so you could see the whole thing, whether you just like to see my work or if you are interested in purchasing it. Wanted you to get a good look at what's inside. This is a sweet little book with 122 pages if you count front and back, and just 2 signatures in this one. Let's measure it here. It is about 7 inches high, 4 3/4 inches wide, and the width is just a little over an inch. I would say 1 1/4 inches. So it's not a huge book. What I used here was an old Campfire Girls book. I used the cover, and I did use a few of the original pages inside also. As I said, I stitched in 2 signatures, and the spine here is reinforced with some ticking fabric, both blue and red. You can see there's just a little cross stitch here and here. That is where the signatures are stitched in. There's no stitching in the middle. And then I used some old vintage yo-yos that I had. I had an old vintage pillow cover, took some of those off and glued them on just to make it a lot cuter, I think. And where the signatures were stitched in on the back, I also left a little bit of dangling linen there, cord, and added a couple of wooden beads there. So when I started this book, I did a little bit of research on the Campfire Girls because I didn't know that much about them. And I found out that there are some negative thoughts about them because I'm sure they didn't do this in later years, but at the beginning they really appropriated a lot of Native American culture and wore costumes that were like that, and used some of their customs in their rituals, and also named like their camps and their groups with sort of like fake Native American names. So some people don't like that, and I understand that. I chose to focus more on the camp aspect of this, so this is more of a nature summer camp type of a themed journal. And when I started working on it, I also found this little gem of a book, which is like an annual or a manual of theirs from 1915. And it has a lot of information about the honors, the different rituals that they do, and what to do at meetings, and just, it's kind of a guidebook. But in the back there were lots of photos, and that's what I wanted this for, was to use some of these photos. And so I chose, although there are quite a few here where there are lots of like here's one, for example, where this girl is all dressed up as a native, in some sort of Native American garb. There's quite a few pictures in here like that where they would all be dressed up. I just chose not to put any of those in the book. I don't want anyone to be offended by the book, for sure. So I used photos that were more like what you see on the cover here, which was their blouse and skirt type of a uniform. And the pictures I did not use. I didn't rip up that manual. I kept it. I just scanned those because I just couldn't quite bring myself yet to cut that book up. So I will hang on to it. I'm hoping this is just kind of a nostalgic book for the ladies out there that went to summer camp and did some of the activities that you might see in the pictures here. So that was my goal. I was a brownie for a little while, but never moved up to Girl Scouts because we kind of switched gears and went into 4-H instead. So anyway, let's take a look at this little book. On the inside covers, I preserved the pictures, so you can see, although the fabric certainly covers that up a little bit there, but you'll see here on the front and then also in the back, I kept those pictures. My label covers up a little bit there too. So since you have them both front and back, you could put a label in here for, I know, sort of this book belongs to type of a label, or you could put a pocket in here or something too. A transparent pocket would be really cool because you could take out whatever's in there and then you could still see the picture. So, but I'll let that be up to you, whoever purchases the book. This first page I created a little flip. This is an Edith Holden book page, and there's a little pocket here kind of a little tag or just a little journaling area that opens up with a butterfly. I used a lot of old papers, a lot of old book pages here. This is from an old, some type of a ledger. And this is from a leaf or some sort of a, field guide type of a thing. I think it went to some kind of a park and it told what plants were there. And then this was a map of the park. Here I've used a page from a tree guide and made a little tag journaling area there. And just some tea-dyed paper here to write on. There's lots of writing space in here, and I think lots of space to do more customization. Like this page is kind of boring. You could glue things on here if you wanted to. Again, that's up to you. Here's just a digital picture of a rabbit. This is from an old nature book. It was a really big book, so this is like half the page in height. Here's one of the photos I chose to use. This little girl is a bluebird, and bluebirds, I believe, were like the first level of the Campfire Girls, the littlest ones. Some mushrooms that are also our digital printout, and lots of pages from different sorts of books. This is from an old book. This is from an old bird book. Just blank pages here that are great for doing whatever you like. I did add a few little critters or, little cutouts, fussy cuts here and there. Here I made a little double belly band. It put a dragonfly on there. And here I made a copy of the cover of that manual I showed you. I made it a little bit larger, and I just stapled a couple of pieces of paper together here. So those could be used for journaling, or you could, use those in collage or however you like. It's a nice deer picture. This is a page from probably a wildflower book, but it's got some ferns on it. Here's a page that I copied, the Campfire Girls. It's their cheer. It's really sweet. And here's a pocket I made from a book cover with the fern on it, and then just added some flowers and a tag there. Another flip out here using some embroidery pattern, old vintage, that stuff. I think it's iron-on, but I'm not sure. Then here I put a couple of little coin envelopes in, and I just tucked a little journal card in each one. I used index cards for those. It's nice to have the lines on the back sometimes for writing, and just use some of these butterfly images that I had. Here's another picture. Campfire Girls around the fire singing songs. It's very sweet. Here I used a little image of mushrooms and made it into a corner tuck, and we tucked a tag in there. And this is original book page again, and you can see I reinforced that a little bit where I stitched it with some washi tape because it's on the fragile side. This is from a wildflower identification book. I just flipped up the corner. And here I made a belly band with another photo, and I used the title page from the book here to create another journal card. Different bird book here. And on this page I fussy cut this nest and added it on. On the other side there's a little up tuck with a journal card inside. Sunday service in the woods on a warm summer's day. Another digital image here that I had of all the butterflies or moths. Just some pretty paper there and just a little bit of collage. This is a pull out here, pulls way out. These eco-dyed sort of pages are also digitals. I did not do the eco-dyeing, although someday I do hope to be able to have the time to do that. It looks so fun. This is from a Great Big Old Bird book, this page, and I like the big font. I think that's cool. On this page I used an envelope, but I also created a little tuck on the side here, with a little caterpillar on the bottom. And this is just a little open up journal spot using an old, I can't remember if this is from the original book. I think it might be from the original guide. No, it couldn't be, because this is 1901. It's just a book page. Never mind my rambling. It's just an old book page that I had. Sorry. Here's a little envelope, and I just tucked a tag inside of there. Another moth on it. So I live in Michigan, guys, and we're in the midst of this heat wave. I'm hoping that this might be the last day of it. It's been really uncomfortable. Here's another page from that guidebook. This one flips up and you can write on the back of it and also underneath. Make sure you can see all of that. Okay. And here's another page from that Edith Holden book. Some tea-dyed legal paper. This is a page from a book that I spray painted over ferns a couple of years ago. I just have a couple, I don't have very much of that left, but I thought I'd put that in too. And here's another picture of the girls winding warp for the looms. They did lots of crafts, and that's what I remember about Brownies and 4-H too. I like doing the crafts, obviously. This is from an old bird book. Pretty. Here's another picture, and it says they're wearing their campfire blouses and outing skirts. Right. So yeah, it's super hot and muggy in my house because we don't have any air conditioning, and we're ready for this to be done. It's awfully early in June for us to have this hot weather. Something from an old journal that I picked up. Sweet picture of some mama and a baby bird. Sweet there. We're getting close to the end here. More of the butterflies. Another up tuck here with another nest. And I used a page from an old book here again. I like how you can see that old binding. Old school books were often bound that way. And a bird on the other side. Pretty woodpecker there. On this page I glued this little coin envelope, and so there's a little tag inside there. But I also made this to be like a little pocket behind it, so there's also a little journal tag in there. And I double printed the dragonfly backwards and frontwards so that I could double them and have them hang over the edge a little bit there. This is from the Wildflower book. Just made another little tuck spot here. This is a stamped image that I did. And this one says, "Not least of the joys and benefits of camp life are the moments of relaxation." It's great. She's like in her bunk there. Added this pretty bleeding heart picture or image there. And that's the end. So thanks for joining me. I hope you like that. If you're interested in purchasing it, it is, as of the uploading of this video, it is available in my Etsy shop. And thanks again for joining me. I have another video coming soon, so stay tuned and have a wonderful day. Bye.